Hi, friends. I hope you're all very well. I want to talk a little bit about the Sanskrit word for gratitude. Gratitude, as we know, you can pick up any self help book, and we all know the power of gratitude, to be grateful for things, and how that can improve our life in many, many different ways. Um, the Sanskrit word for gratitude is Krtajnataa. Krtajnataa. Now, when we think of the word gratitude, we it inspires us conceptually to be grateful for things, but we don't really know from the word itself what gratitude is. We can say it means to be thankful, to be appreciative, and so on. But really, in the word gratitude itself, it gives no indication into what the natural meaning of the word gratitude is. Well, the beautiful thing about Sanskrit is that every meaning is interwoven in the vibration of the sound of the word itself. So any word that we choose to say in Sanskrit, if we're sensitive to it and use it as a meditative kind of approach to Sanskrit, then the vibration of the sounds themselves will reveal the hidden meanings of the word. And there's no accidents, there's no random conventions when it comes to Sanskrit. Everything is very, very natural and organic, and that's the beauty of a vibrational language. So again, the Sanskrit word for gratitude is Krtajnataa. Krtajnataa. Now I'm going to break that down for you for a couple of reasons. One, it gives us hopefully, a real insight into how to use Sanskrit as a meditative language. And by doing that, we can draw out the great benefit and creativity of reading poetry or spiritual texts, or indeed any texts in the language of Sanskrit. It can open us up, more importantly, to our own true self, which is always beyond the mind, which is forever silent. So let's look at the word Krtajnataa. So in Sanskrit, the first thing we need to do is we need to look at where the word comes from. In other words, what the root sound is. The root sound, there are two major root sounds in that word, Krtajnataa. The first one is Kr, Kr, Kr. And Kr is a root sound in Sanskrit, and it can mean action. It can mean doing. They're the most common usages of the word kuru. Like we have the word koromi, which means I do, korosi, you do, and so on. So, and that comes from the same root, kuru. But here we want to break it down. We can break it down a bit further. And if we're sensitive enough within our own consciousness, we can pick up the sort of more subtle meanings of what that really means. So we can take the root sound kuru, and we can break it down into its individual seed components of k and ur. So k and ur gives us kuru. So the k element, and there are many, many, many meanings for each of these individual components. So I'm choosing one meaning, which is where we could get the meaning of gratitude from. So the first meaning is, it means a birthing of something that's very primordial, something that arises from an ocean of light and consciousness. Is the birthing of something. It's coming forth. It has the potential to come forth. We marry that with the ur sound that gives us kr. And the ur sound is recognized as a swara, which is a vowel sound in the Sanskrit language. Now, vowel sounds in any language, but particularly Sanskrit, are the most powerful sounds in the language. And in Sanskrit, each vowel sound is, you could say, a quality of the eternal. It is a fundamental basis for existence, and that's always, always eternal. And so the ur element, even by the sound of that, you can hear it, hopefully. Ur, there's a vibratory quality to that as the tongue very slightly sort of vibrates on the palate of the mouth. Ur. And that's no coincidence. So that is the vibratory power of manifestation. Everything around us, and science discovers this also, is a vibration, is a vibration, a certain frequency. And so that is manifestation. That is the essence of manifestation, is vibration. So that's where we get the seed sound of kuru. So from the potential, the sort of stirring of the divine consciousness, which is unmanifest, marrying that with the sound uru gives us the sound kuru. Manifest, then it comes forth as a manifestation, as a vibration. And we have kuru, to do, to act upon. You see, and so that's the basis of the first seed sound in gratitude. Kuru is the sound kuru. Next we marry it then with the sound ta. So we have kuru ta. Kuru ta is a past participle. It means having done something, having acted upon something, or having something acted upon towards you, or you acting upon something else. So the ta participle is important. So that gives us kuru ta. Okay. Next we have the other root sound of nya. Now nya is the basis sound, the root sound of where we get jnanam, which means wisdom, insight, knowledge in Sanskrit, and many other things. But that's one of the primary meanings of that root sound, nya. Now we can do the same analysis as what we did, beg your pardon, with the first sound kuru, which gives us the nya. So nya can be split up into two seed sounds, not the root sounds, seed sounds, which are more subtle. The first sound is ja, or ja, and ja is in the Sanskrit alphabet. It's one of the most, and therefore very powerful vibration. And ja can mean, it has hundreds of meanings, but it can mean a sort of a birthing of something, a given birth, sort of the essence of manifestation, the essence of life itself that we experience in these 4 dimensions that we experience. So ja, so nya is this. We can split that into ja, and we can split it into nya. Now the ja, as I've already said, means kind of the power, the prana, the force of life itself, and the nya element can indicate a negation of that. So it's not that we're negating life, but we're moving beyond being bound in life so that we can fully enjoy life. It's not about removing ourselves from life. It's about fully engaging in life. And that comes through wisdom and insight. And that's the element of nya. So as long as we're caught up in the ja, the birthing element of life, we can never be free from suffering. We can never experience the full joy of what it means to be a true human being here and now. But with the negation of that, we create the root sound then, nya, which means the root sound, which gives us the insight and the wisdom to transcend that. So it's through that transcendence then that we acknowledge the act that's being done, which is kurut. Remember the vibratory force of kurutta nya, which takes knowledge, nyata, knowledge. So all of those meanings are inherent in the word gratitude in Sanskrit. So it's only through turning our awareness back through wisdom that gives us insight. And in that experience, the natural response is gratitude automatically. When we're resting in the wisdom of our own being, then the vibratory force is acknowledged as being a part of that. And gratitude is intuitive. Wisdom is automatic. But it's a very active acknowledgement also, because that comes back, we come back to the first element of kuru, which is a very active engagement of manifestation. It's not a static thing, but it is a natural expression of ourself, gratitude. So all of that is like a puzzle piece that we put together, is interwoven in the vibration of gratitude, which is kurutta Krtajnataa in Sanskrit. So that was quite a long talk about what gratitude means or can mean in Sanskrit. That's my experience of meditating upon that word. You will have your own experience if you choose to do the same. But you'll always get clues on the deeper meanings of the word as you rest more and more in your own presence. As you come back to yourself and rest more and more in silence, it will become increasingly lucid to what the meanings of these words are. And so gratitude is not a concept, it is a direct experience. Lots of love. Bye for now.